Yo, welcome back to the show, everybody. My name is Maydaysan from the Maydaysan Talk Show. I have a different intro today because I can and it's free. We got a special guest on the show today, and his name is...
It's Matthew.
Matthew.
My name is Matthew.
Matthew.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? What you all about? Social media plugs?
I've been in Japan a while. I play music. I teach English.
Oh yeah, the fun one.
Well, at the moment at least.
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah. What's this? What else is there? That's about it. I speak the J.
That's it. He speaks the J.
Study the Japanese.
Do you have an N? You have an N1, N2, whatever certification?
I do. I have N1. I took N1 last year. I got it in January, I think.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's my first year as N1.
Oh my god. So does that mean you're fluent in Japanese?
Oh no.
No.
Oh God, no. Oh Jesus, no.
Jeez. Oh, okay. So basically, that's what I wanted to talk about today with my boy Matt here because, New Horizons are on its way, and it's time, guys, for that question of the year that you ask yourself every year, every spring probably, is I need to get a new job.
Oh yeah.
And should I get a new job? And Matthew, why don't you go ahead and let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a sec. So a lot of people come here to Japan, and a lot of them, admittedly, they come here just as a gap year, or they come here because they don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
Some come here because they like Japan a lot. It's like, well, I like all that stuff, right? And they come here. Obviously, the easiest way to get here is, teaching English.
Yeah.
And let's answer the first question. It's probably pretty rhetorical at this point for you listeners. Is teaching English is it a career?
It depends on how much you like it. I mean, like logistically, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think it is. Like, if you get in a good situation, you get in a private school, something like that, and you can, make ends meet with it. It's great.
Yeah.
And like even like as an ALT, like if you enjoy it so much as you can, like, overlook like the poor pay or things like that. Like you can do it. Like it's fine. But like for me, I wouldn't call it. It's not a career you should be aiming for, I don't think.
Yeah. Do you think it's just, okay, so let's say, for example, if Japan didn't have that glass ceiling for it, and that you could actually, move up, just how it is now, and you can move up, you can get more money, you get raises, you get the bonuses, all that stuff. Let's imagine it was the case for almost everybody. Would you recommend it at that point? Would you call it a career, or do you think just like the work itself is almost laughable and just kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That exactly. That's a really good point. Like I was talking about this yesterday. Yeah. And I was saying, like, honestly, if as a career or if it as a job, if it was like it had a better situation going on, like money or like insurance wise, like I would consider like staying on and do it for a long time because you have like that steady gradual pay going up every year, for example. If you had that, like it's doable. It's like you can live on that. Yeah. And it's fun. I genuinely really enjoy my job. It's a lot of fun. But there's like lots of other financial issues.
Financials, right?
Like come with it.
If you wanted to have a family, or if you wanted to even even have anything more than not working paycheck to paycheck, I think you definitely need to move on to something else.
You need the stability. You need it's like like a paycheck month to month. So it comes in every time. Yeah, but there's still like that. It's like not anxiety. What am I thinking of? Like
anxiousness?
No, not anxiety.
Uncertainty.
That's the one. That's
what
I'm thinking of,
like it doesn't like at my BOE. I think every year I've been here, the 3 years. They say every year it's contract year, guys.
Yeah.
It's renewal. Wasn't it contract year last year? You know what I mean? And
they renew it every year, I think, in most places. But, and you hear of times where like they don't get the contract.
Yeah, it happens.
And it's like and then
you're screwed.
2 weeks later, like you've got everyone's out of a job. And it's like, what do these people do? Like, especially like if you have a longer visa, like my visa currently is like 3 years.
Yeah, so that's a miracle. I don't even know how you got that.
I'm a lucky guy. But like, if you have that, like, you're kind of okay because you can at least stay in Japan. If your visa expires just as the contract runs out, then what do you do? Like,
you have 3 months to find a new job. You get that tourist visa, right? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck with that. So,
like, they try to glorify the dispatch companies. They try to glorify it so much, and it makes you kind of forget about the reality of that. It actually is like you may not have a job next year. Like maybe no matter how much your school likes you and stuff like that. It's just like yo, you might not get the contract, right? And sometimes you don't get the contract not because somebody screwed up, but it could be just purely political, right? Because like, oh, we want to maybe switch it up and go with a different company. But I was just kind of like thinking like, now for me anyway, you know, I used to enjoy the job a lot. You know, it was a lot of fun, you know, memes and all that stuff. But then I think there comes a point, and if you guys saw the last video, ALT Burnout, episode 3, then you know that I've kind of burnt out on the job itself. And I don't think I think it's a mix of I got tired of it and a mix of I had the sweet taste of something else. I just came back from a trip to Mie Prefecture. And I did a kind of like, you know, I bring my paid travel. I did a pretty much paid travel, fun stuff, lots of eye-opening things, and I was like, yo, this is like amazing. And now it's like kind of like going back to the Play-Doh in the cave. And it's just like you come back to sit at your desk and nothing's changed, and it's just like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore.
As soon as you have a taste of that something else, it's really, you get back to the job, and it's really mundane. Like all the things that that were bothering you before, like suddenly they're like it's so much more obvious. Magnified. It's suddenly right in your face. It's like if you're there like every day the whole time, there's nothing, like no major change. Like you can sort of like, oh, I kind of enjoy it, I guess. As soon as you get a taste of like something a little bit better, it's like, oh, okay, that's what it could be. Like that's the stuff I could be doing.
And I think it's this trap that a lot of us have, especially a lot of us who don't have like, who came here teaching English, because you come here on English with like 0 skills to like get the job. Like you're not a specialized like engineer or something, right? So like you come here, it's like, well, it's so easy for you to say, well, there's no point trying to get another job because I'm not worth it, right? Or like, who's gonna hire me, right? And it's so easy to settle down. And I think for the last 2 years for me, it was like that. You know, I was like, you know what? You know, Matthew's trying to get another job and he's trying to do this. Like, oh, I'm fine where I am. I don't really care. You know, like nothing's happening to me, right? But then, you know, once I started this YouTube channel and then things started happening to me, then it's just like, damn, like
it's boomed as well. I've been like keeping track on what's going on. It's really cool. Like
almost at 1,000 subscribers, almost. But oh no, we did hit 700. So thank you guys. And we're on the second channel now. So remember, guys, if you like that content, you want to see behind the scenes footage, you know, talk about it, discussions. My friend told me this channel is just a shit talking channel. I was like, it is though.
Well, it is. That's
it is.
What it is.
It is. But you know, I wanted to do it in a way that, you know, it wouldn't affect the big channel. But anyway, but now that I got that taste of, you know, I'm actually capable of doing something. And for me, it's not like in Canada I was capable of. This is like the very first time for me, like in anything that, you know, that wasn't some brainless job. My first job was retail. Like I worked at a workhouse, right? Like I worked at a hardware store, and then, you know, I worked my ass off for that, and for what? Literally pennies. Like now I do the same thing. I work less for more, but that's as good as it gets. Right. And there was this crazy comment that somebody left on the Facebook, and I'm gonna try and quote it here, and it just opened up my eyes about what the ALT job really is. I don't know if you read it. It's on the page.
Sure. I may have done.
If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, I do almost daily content there every day, just different kinds of things. And one of the posts I made was about my second video about how you can't afford to live in Japan after year 2. Right? Because my bills just came in, and it's just like, Jesus Christ. So basically, bro, check this out, okay? The dispatch. I'm gonna quote you. Let me know. I'm not gonna mention your name, but do know that I'm quoting you, my friend. The dispatch companies and the BOEs they serve expect you to quit between 1 to 3 years, as that is the average turnaround. It keeps them from having pay bonuses, benefits, and higher wages as required by Japanese labor law. There also used to be a labor law that says if you worked for an organization full-time for 5 years, they are obliged to hire you for permanent staff. If it still exists, it's been adjusted for employers to not take it seriously. This is why 29.5 works and not 30 hours. It's not just about cheating you out of health coverage. I hate to break this to you, and I've heard that Matthew say this so many times to so many people in that unofficial group. Every time Matt just comes in, he's just like, I'm sorry, I gotta break it to you. So this person said, I hate to break this to you, but ALT work isn't considered legitimate by immigration, meaning no foreigner not married to a Nihonjin has ever qualified for permanent residency after 10 years after being an ALT. This job isn't considered legitimate by Japanese credit cards. Your work contract is annual, so it's not a guarantee enough for them to take the risk on you. Your job is also viewed by Japanese society as temporary, you know, the haken, right? And it's not a legitimate career path. This is why you need a plan B when you sign up. And when your BOE decides to cut you off after year 3, or your dispatch company mysteriously loses the contract, right? So there was another comment too that was talking about how basically the ALT job at the beginning was a kind of like a glorified extended cultural exchange student.
I don't understand. That's kind of exactly what it is.
Yeah, I was like, when he wrote that, I was like, I am just an exchange student.
Is it because you don't really need any particular qualifications for it? The interview process, there's no actual substance to it. Like, can you speak English? Like, can you stand in front of people?
For my interview, I trolled, man. I just literally walked in there, made jokes, and then the guy was like, yo, I like you already. Let's just ask some questions for formality. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then the comment was saying, like, no matter how much they try to glorify it and try to make you think it's important, like, bro, no one cares.
Yeah.
Or like, no one honestly cares, as long as you don't get in their way, kind of thing. And it's just so crazy. So yes, so you can get this job with no skill to be the underpaid dancing monkey, basically. But what kind of qualifications can you get in Japan to actually advance forward? And the first thing that comes to mind is the JLPT. So Matthew, you have what level of JLPT?
I have N1.
N1. I have an N3 myself. First question: do you think it matters to you?
To me, personally, yeah, it matters to me because I always consider the JLPT as like a personal goal. Like I thought it helped me, like, you know, focus my studies. Like if disregarding what I think of like JLPT is actual worth, is worth. Like for me personally, I used it as a goal to study Japanese.
Yeah, and I think that's a good motivator, right?
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed studying for it because it gives you not a good representation of your Japanese ability, but it gives you some kind of like level, I guess. It gives you some kind of like idea of how well you can at least read.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't say it doesn't have nothing to do with the other skills.
Right. So how about in Japanese society in terms of more employers when they're looking, like, do you think you have the N1, which is like the golden grail? Does it actually matter?
Honestly, like a lot of companies will disregard you straight off if you don't have like N2 or N1, which I really don't think they should. Like, it's just a bit of paper. If you can speak and if you can read and write, you should be able to apply for these jobs. But like I do understand it from the employer's perspective because they'll have so many applications and they kind of want an easy way of like, right, this person can speak Japanese. This person
just to get past the first stage.
This is sort of like, just like, right. Yeah. If they have like no JLPT or like JLPT N4 or something like that, it's like, well, this guy probably can't speak, so gone.
Right.
I kind of get that.
So probably for like the screening process, you think.
That's about it, yeah. Because if you can get to the
if you have like a connection to just get to the interview.
Yeah. If you get the interview like that, then that's the test. That's the test of your Japanese. That's right. And if you can speak well enough and if you can read and write, because you'll have some kind of like communication via email as well. And if you can write properly and read properly and you can just respond well to these emails in like proper Keigo and like proper Japanese, then like that will show that you can like at least read and write, and then the interview gives you the chance to actually show off your Japanese ability, and then that should be the way to get you into the job. Right. But of course, N1, like, even on the N1, there's no interview process. There's no.
That's weird, eh? I think it'd just be too expensive. It wouldn't be practical.
It wouldn't be practical. Like, you'd just be too expensive. Like, you'd have to hire so many staff to do these like ridiculous interviews.
That'd make the test like $300 or some yen at least.
Yeah, but I would say about the JLPT, like I think it's like the N1, you need at least 60% to pass. The N2 is 55 or 50. I forget.
Might be 50.
I think. Well, forget which one. And the N3 is about 50 as well. Like these like. That pass mark is like so low.
That's like American, dude. It's just like 50 or go home.
It's like, well, you can guess half the answers. Like it's all multiple choice. Like if you're lucky.
You know what was strange when I studied Japanese in Canada? Basically, all my other classes were like 50 to pass. Yeah. But my Japanese class was 65. Like they literally raised it. Like you had to get 65 or more. Yeah. Because the teacher, the director of that thing, he's like, no, I want you to be good at Japanese. Yeah. And the 50 is not good enough. right? I need you to have at least 65.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a serious thing. But then when you actually get here, hello, my name is Raj. I don't speak Japanese, but I'm good at taking tests. So I have the N2, sir. Can you read this kanji? What? So it's just like
a lot of people, especially a lot of Chinese and a lot of Japanese people. Sorry, not Japanese, Chinese and Korean people.
Yes.
They can read a lot of kanji by default.
Yeah.
So they have a quite a big advantage.
And the grammar is already there.
Obviously, especially for Korean, like the grammar is like super similar, and Chinese people have a lot good advantage on like kanji readings.
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously the readings and things change, and the kanji is a bit different depending on the region, but
the meaning is the same.
Yeah, the meaning is like really similar. So they have a really big advantage on that. So it means you have a whole, like for example, when I took the N1, I think other people when they took the N2 the other day had the same experience. When you get into the test hall, you have like 96, 97% of the people like all like
Chinese or Taiwanese or something, right? Yeah.
You're so like you have like the few white people.
Actually, there's a lot of Vietnamese people taking the test. There's a lot of them. Yeah. I wonder why.
I think there's much more of an urgency with like Asian people to learn Japanese because they kind of need to rely on it. If English isn't their first language or they're not strong with English, then
I feel like English is here as like a huge crutch because it's like you're English, you speak English, so your default already sugoi. You know what I mean? In a nonsensical kind of way, right? Because you have, but I think these South Asian people who don't have that skill,
well, they already speak Japanese.
Yeah, all they have is that.
The choice, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
in terms of like how they look as well, like because they'll be seen as like obviously Asian. Yeah. And if they look Japanese as well, they'll be addressed and talked to. Right. Well. If you're as white as like bleached like me, like no one's going to assume you can speak Japanese ever. Right. You just get constantly it's like you have broken English thrown at you all the time.
Yes, that's a video coming up. It's pretty crazy. How I think the JLPT does matter. Yeah. Just as like a stupid for a video game, like it's a prequest. Like you need to have this just to be able to apply. Yeah. Right. And anything other than that, like you better hope you have a connection or something that'll get you in. So my next question is, so let's assume you have the qualifications. Yeah. Okay. How picky should you be to get another job? If we are talking about how bad English teaching is or how unsatisfying and how you should, and a lot of people preaching on YouTube, you got to get out. You got to get out of English teaching. Do you just take what you can get, or do you, just take your time and try to find something that you like? Yeah. What do you think about that?
So in terms of that, it honestly depends on what specialty, what skills you have. So if you have a certain skill in marketing, for example, you have skills in finance, you have skills in design or something. Yes. Obviously, the more IT-based skills you have, the bigger choices, the more choices you're gonna have. Yeah. But you get honestly if we talk about teaching English as a short-term career, I mean you still have a lot of time. If you can do it for a few years or so, 2 or 3, 4 years or so, that's plenty of time to keep searching. You don't want to be taking the first thing that comes at you, but you also keep in mind that it is difficult to find a job. Yeah. If you don't have the right skills, you don't want to be too picky, because obviously if you take a job and it's not for you, you can always take the skills you get from that job, apply it to another job eventually. Yeah. Especially if you have no IT skills, for example, and you get to join a company that obviously it's going to be an IT based company, they're going to teach you from ground up, and if you can use those skills, and you can then apply it to another job later on. Yeah. So I think honestly that you want to be picky, but not as picky as you want to be not the first one you get, but
so a lot of people usually the path up. So you pretty much have two advancement paths from getting out of English teaching. Is A, you move up in the English company itself and become a trainer or whatever, or B, you go do something else. And most people go towards, what is it? Is it headhunting? Is that what they do? Or recruiting? Recruiting.
There's a lot of recruiters, and it can be a good job.
Recruiting.
It's just I don't want to do it.
I can't. I think if I was even offered recruiting for 40,000 or 400,000 yen a month, actually, that's pretty tempting. But
if you're good at it and you get the right connections, you can make a load of money. You can be really successful with it. But it's just how much do you want to do it? How much do you want to do that cold calling in the first couple of years?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm not even fine with cold calling. I'm not, because I don't like that happening to me, right? So why would I want to do that to someone else? It's different than doing proposals. like if you work in a sales position or something, proposal is different because the client is already preemptively requesting something.
Yeah.
So, and if you believe in what you're selling, right? If you believe in what you're selling, then, you know, I can do it.
Yeah.
But if I'm like selling a lawnmower or something like that, like, oh, you want to buy insurance for your cat that you don't even own yet? Like that, like I can't do that.
Yeah, I can.
Or even it's like recruiting people for jobs that you know it's going to be a dead end for them. So like, it's just not off my, it's just out of my moral compass. If I were to say like, oh, I have a job for you in English teaching, lots of opportunity ahead, like 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I wouldn't want to go down the headhunting path. But every spring comes around, all the jobs come out, and you're like, crap. And the thing is, too, all the jobs are in Tokyo.
Yeah. You kind of need to be based in Tokyo. Like, you gotta have so much more.
Or at least close to it.
Yeah.
Like Saitama, Kanagawa, Gunma, or
like, even then, you're
Chiba.
gonna have to be commuting into Tokyo.
Right.
So,
Either way, you're going there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a job that's in Kanagawa where we are. That wasn't English teaching.
Yeah, like honestly, the best bets is maybe at Yokohama. That's probably the best.
Yeah,
place.
Yokohama.
You can do it there, but like again, Yokohama's expensive as well. So, I mean, it depends on where you are, I suppose. But again, like you're gonna be like 90% of the jobs for like English speaking foreigners are gonna be English teaching.
That's such a sad reality.
It's so depressing.
I mean, unless they got more money, like if they were getting
Yeah.
like 400,000 a month for doing that.
I mean, if some people do, like if you get into the good situation, you get, like, example, into a private school, and you can still have enough time to teach private classes too. And it's not impossible to make a decent amount of money from English teaching.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like you're gonna need to work at least 2 jobs. Because, I mean, for example, like, if my current situation now, if I just increase the number of shifts I do at my part-time job as well as I'm like my A&T job, I could probably make about 400 a month.
You could, but then that's a sacrifice of time.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that every day. I would want to sort of like come home from work and then work until like 9 o'clock every night. Like,
so
I just don't want to do that.
One of the big things is like, if you get a new job, would you still want to do English teaching on the side to get extra money, or just like, would you rather just have the one job and it's like whatever, and I'll tank the not having that money?
And honestly, for me, it'd be a case of necessity. Like, if I needed to, like if I really needed some more money and I had the spare time, like I would, I guess. But again, like my goal is to sort of like be in a situation where I don't have to.
Right. Just have the one job
to do,
and just have that growth, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think? We could probably try and wrap this up. Do you think even if you get a new job, that's not an English teaching, do you think there is still a career for, foreigners like us, right, in Japan long term?
What, outside of English teaching?
Yeah, if you get that job outside of English teaching.
Yeah.
Do you personally feel like you can be here for another 10 years, 20 years, if the country's not under the water, like doing whatever you're going to be doing next? Or do you feel like, this entire journey here in Japan is just a temporary thing?
No, it depends on how you feel about it. Like, honestly, I think it's definitely possible. Like, that's my intention. I like going back to the UK now and again and see my friends and family, but like I'm pretty set on like sort of living in Japan and for the foreseeable future. Like, it's definitely possible. Like, you get a different job, even in English teaching, if you wanted to teach English, or if you really enjoy what you're doing, like it's definitely possible to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it might be difficult depending on the BOE or the schools you're in or the situation.
Yeah, even the direct ALTs aren't safe anymore now.
Yeah, that's like kind of terrifying. Like that was meant to be like the safe haven.
That was like the golden grail of all ALT jobs, and now they're getting it just as bad as we are now.
Yeah.
I read in one of the things what they would cut the pay and then give you the bonus so that you get the same amount of pay as before.
Yeah,
that's messed up.
That's like that's like, oh, what is it? It's like shops and stuff where they cut the price.
Yeah.
And they'll also they'll chop it down again. Like, they'll raise the price.
Yeah.
And then they'll cut it down. Cut it down to the original price.
It's like the Amazon cheese. It's like, oh, this was actually $300.
You raised it to 500 before, and then you dropped it back down again. Yeah.
It's kind of weird how I don't even know who's behind the wheel on this, but like we talk about Japanese culture and how they're so considerate of others and kind or whatever, but like why are we getting screwed over so hard? And I'm pretty sure it's Japanese people who own these companies and make these decisions. Yeah. It's like, yo, that's just straight up snake.
There was something you said earlier that reminded me of something. Like, you said, like, obviously it was that the person's comment that you quoted earlier.
Yeah.
And it's that They make it so like ALTs have to sort of go home after like 3 or 4 years. They have to
especially Jet, they do that.
Yeah,
you go home.
It's ridiculous, but like at the same time, like I think they've also been semi-conditioned by the ALTs themselves, because a lot of people come to Japan with the intention of staying for like 1 or 2 years max. And so the turnover is already really high. So I think it's kind of a bit of a circle. Like obviously people want to stay here.
You did
like,
this, so we do this now, kind of thing.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like obviously people come here for a year and they'll leave, and so there's the impression they're just going to keep leaving. Yeah.
Right. Which is why you don't get that more than 1 year visa. God damn.
But it's definitely possible to stay in Japan. Like, I have every intention of staying here. Like.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. It's kind of just like, oh, man, what is it? It's kind of like this. I can live anywhere if I'm okay, kind of thing, and it just so happens to be Japan, and I think there's a lot of people who are like that, which is why I think there's a lot of people who do ALT for like 10, 15 years, dude, and they just stay here because
it's honestly it's an easy place to live. It's like safe.
It is comparably to like on this salary, there's no way I'd be able to live by myself. There's no way.
Yeah,
making what maybe $2,500 or $3,000 Canadian a month, dude. Rent in Toronto, man, is like $2,400 already.
Oh, it'd be the same in London. Like, there's no way.
There's no way. It's actually surprisingly affordable to live here.
Yeah,
affordable.
Yes, that is the key word.
That's the key word. It's affordable. It's just enough.
You can get by.
It's just enough, man. And then there's other like ALT companies out there where, dude, they're making like, what is it? Junana Mayan?
Yeah, like, boy,
how the hell
how can you live on this?
How can you do that? How do you do that? I had that kind of salary before. I had 1,900.
Oh yeah.
But I was extremely lucky because I lived in an apartment where it was only 10,000 yen because it was like the BOE's residence. But what if I lived in like a Leo Palace, bro?
Yeah, it's like stuck at like 60, 70,000.
Dude, you're Cade. Like you're done.
Yeah.
Like my current house is like 75, but it's like huge.
I'm just imagining that. So if let's say for example, you live in a Leo Pass, you're paying like 50, 60,000 or something.
And then residence tax, dude.
Yeah, and on top of the residence, and then after groceries and stuff like that, and then you're left with a month about 40,000 yen.
Dude,
How
you're
do you live
screwed.
with that?
You're screwed. Like you're actually just gone.
Like a hermit. Like a proper hikikomori the entire time.
Like it's like
it's all you can do.
It's almost unbelievable. Like, it's just like how. And I did a podcast on this last week about like, you know, and everyone was just coming up saying just like, yo, it's just how it is because you know, mans don't care. And then, you know, they have really, really, really nice headquarters, which is it's capitalism. I mean, if that was me, bro, I'd do the same thing. What the heck? I got money. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Yeah, I'm a big boy. I can do what I want. But anyway, guys, I think that's gonna do it for today. We were talking about the JLPT, futures in Japan, the job itself, and I hope you all kind of learned something today. And with summer coming around, it is the middle of a contract for ALTs right now, so you actually have the opportunity to leave without looking like an asshole because it's after summer vacation. So if you're trying to get out of Japan English teaching, now is the prime time to do it because now you can go to interviews during summer vacation. Speaking of summer, there is no summer. We will get into that in another episode. Anyway, guys, make sure you follow Matthew on all social media thingies. He has his new album just came out. What's it called again?
Oh, it was
Defenseless?
It wasn't. It was Infamous.
Infamous.
That was the one.
Acoustic record.
It is, yeah.
Acoustic record. If you guys like that, it is available on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, all that fun stuff. I'll put a link down in the description down below so you guys can go check him out. And I think that's gonna do it for today. Anything you want to say?
Good. So just like if you enjoy it, just keep doing it. Like regardless of what work you do, like just like if you're enjoying it, it's fine. If not, there are loads of opportunities to do something else.
Yes. All right, guys. That's all for today. So, mata ne.
Bye bye.